The sun god Ra created himself, then his children, the air god Shu and the moisture goddess Tefnut. They created their children, the earth god Jeb and the sky goddess Nut. Now the ball was rolling. Jeb in all his lush splendor, with plants growing from him, and Nut in all her quiet splendor, with winds caressing her. They did their part, singly and together. Soon there were 5 children in the next generation, the goddess Nebet-Hut and her husband brother god Set, the goddess Aset and her husband brother god Usur, and the god Heru-Wer. Ra was progenitor to 9 more deities now, the great Pesedjet. Ra had been pleased at the triad that he and Shu and Tefnut formed, but now all these progeny totaled 9, and 9 was better. 9 was 3 squared. A 9-pointed star could be formed by superimposing 3 identical equilateral triangles, so that each was rotated precisely 40 degrees over from the next lower one. A magic square could be formed by making a matrix of 9 cells within a square. Each one filled a distinct numeral from 1 to 9, where the numbers in each row, the numbers in each column, and the numbers in each of the 2 diagonals added up to the same total. The geometric and algebraic games one could play with 9 were such a delight. They were a promise of an extraordinary future. And the best thing about the great Pesedjet was that Ra's great-grandson, Heru-Wer, was really just the embodiment of Ra himself at midday. So Ra could count himself as part of this miraculous 9. Ra was pleased beyond measure. That pleasure excited Ra into an even more heated frenzy of creativity that needed to live up to the cleverness of the number 9. The molten flow that had emerged from the watery nun with Ra's first words still sizzled. It now inspired Ra. With flame Kitty cat, leave that alone. With flame coming from his pointing finger, he made the basic elements to build all things. He started with iron and blew it over this rapidly forming ball of a world. It glittered golden. A royal satisfaction enveloped Ra. This was fated to be his color, the rightful color of the father of everything and everyone. But the world needed more colors. Another jab of Ra's fire fingertips scattered red lithium to the winds. Next, calcium burned bright orange. Then sodium flamed yellow, copper sparkled green, selenium glowed blue, cesium flashed indigo, potassium gave violet luster. The luminosity of colors seduced Ra's new eye to step forward as a goddess, and she called herself Hut-Heru. She danced over the earth on which the iron had now cooled into a crust, and she laughed, filling the cosmos with music. The twirling of her skirts swished the remaining gassy colors high. When the sun god Ra shone his light through the moisture goddess Tefnut, a rainbow arched across the world, echoing the arched body of Nut, daughter of Tefnut and Shu. Hut-Heru didn't always dance, though. She loved night. She lay back in those hours and gazed upward into nothingness. So she wanted calming colors for those quiet times. Ra knew this, of course, for Hut-Heru was his very own eye. With a scorching finger, he made the silver of aluminum. From it the stars and moon formed, and Hut-Heru was glad and grateful. Now there were 9 colors. 9 again. Luscious 9. Ra shrugged, and a cloud of insects filled the air in all imaginable colors. He loved scarabs best. They rolled dung into balls and laid their eggs inside, so the little balls emitted heat as the dung decayed. Later, when the eggs hatched, it seemed like spontaneous generation, like the self-generation of the royal Ra. What charming creatures! Ra took to assuming scarab form and calling himself Ra Kapra in the morning, when he was just a babe pushing the sun up into the sky. From then on, the scarab was sacred before all other creatures. But the insects swarmed, far too many, plaguing the pesedjet of deities. So the tongue of Ra stepped forward as the god Tahuti, and with ever-powerful words he created birds to eat them. Clever Ra was wiser now about the ways of life, so he didn't stop there. He made Tahuti speak again, and now some birds preyed upon others to keep the population of both insects and birds under control. The master predator and most intelligent was the falcon, and so Ra declared it his bird. Ra often assumed the head of a falcon, particularly in midday at the sun's zenith. The falcons were such skillful hunters, they would soon have eaten up all the smaller birds, except for the fact that they had snakes to prey upon as well. Perfect. And those snakes, good glory, what killers the cobras were. Their tongues picked up the faintest smells, and the pits behind their nostrils were so sensitive to heat that they could hunt even at night. Ra had been brilliant to add the sacred irit to his headdress. Through words, Ra created little creatures of land and sea and air, then medium-sized ones, then enormous ones. He created plants and mushrooms. He created rocks and metals and gases, and it was all so painfully beautiful. Ra gazed at the world through his new eye, Hut Eru, wearing his sacred irit, and the complexity impressed him. The deities, the plants, the beasts, the humans. But somehow those humans kept worrying him. They were cunning in a different way from the beast. Ra had the terrible sense that he had known those humans would bring trouble, but he had willfully played his part. This was how it had to be. And just as strongly he felt all creation was teetering, close to going out of control.